everybody, this is David with No Chaser, and I am back from the dead. I'm here, I got a beard, have no fear. Yes, I know the last video I sent you was pretty, but I was questioning whether I should actually upload it or not. And I really, I thought about it, and I was like, is this too exploitative? Is this too just weird? Is it like triggering? Is it unhealthy to even do this, to post yourself in that sort of state? Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the video, is basically me on my withdrawals right before I went into a detox and rehab facility. And I just thought, you know what, I want to keep doing these videos. I want to do this stuff, and I want to do the whole process all the way through. So I thought, you know what, why not? I'll upload the video, and it'll just be out there and just be unabashedly human and flawed, as I was in that moment. But anyways, I'm feeling a lot better. Ding. I'm too lazy to go back and make the ding noise for my smile. But, and I'm actually out a lot sooner than I was supposed to be. You see, there's this thing in America called health insurance and insanity, and that's what I had to go through because I was cut off early. And so I only spent 12 days in treatment when I was supposed to do the full 28. So I'm out now, and, I feel pretty good. Like, I had thoughts of drinking while in treatment. I had thoughts of using and things like that. But there's this kind of levels that I know that I have, where I have like a thought, and then I entertain the thought, and then the thought becomes a fantasy. And then that's when I actually do the plan making, when it's all the way at the kind of DEFCON 9. Because, there's the thoughts, which are just kind of like, oh man, you think about something, you think about a memory, or you just think about the way it would feel in this moment if you're not feeling particularly well, and you just go, man, that would be nice. And then you have the entertaining of it, where you're just kind of like, let me do some imagination of, I don't know, kind of the feeling of it. So let me imagine that scenario. Or you might do one of these where just like, hypothetically, I'm not going to, but hypothetically, if I did drink, how would it feel and what would it be like? And you don't think about all the bad stuff or anything like that. So you just kind of go, at least I do. I talked to some other people, and they said they had something similar, where you just have like these nice hypotheticals, like, oh, if I did drink, I'm not going to, but if I did, what would it be like? And you have that very selective memory that is going to filter out how shitty it's going to be. And then you have fantasy, where at least I get into the fantasy part, where you actually start thinking about it, and you may not be feeling fully there yet, or that you are going to relapse, but you really start playing through the sort of feelings and emotions, and again, that sort of imagery, and even the sensory stuff, the stuff that really starts getting your brain going, and without even knowing it, like, I'm jacking my brain up. I'm like giving it a pep talk. I'm like, giving it like this locker room speech of how we're going to go out and drink again. And I don't even fully understand that I'm doing that to myself. When I start the fantasy sort of thing, it's really just this idea that maybe I'll satiate it by thinking about it, or maybe I'm just getting lost in thought. That totally happens where, my normal brain is pushed out of the driver's seat, and that addictive brain is in there. And then it's starting to drive the bus, and it just gives you all these thoughts and fantasies about it. And then there's kind of the plan making phase, where basically you are in the middle of a relapse. You just may not know it. Like, you think in the middle of the relapse, at least the way I think of it is, in the middle of the relapse would be you've already drank or used, and then, you start doing it more, and that's when you're in the middle of it. To me, in the middle of a relapse is when I started thinking about it and making a plan of how I'm going to do it. Because then all it takes is for me to get into the car, grab my keys, get into the car. And you know what, honestly, when I'm at that point, I've already made the decision before I walked in. I talked to somebody in treatment who said that a couple times they'd actually gone into a grocery store or liquor store, went in, turned around, and went out. I have never done that. I probably look like a shoplifter when I'm in there, because I remember when I relapsed once. This was after almost a year and a half. I was in a grocery store, and again, I probably looked like a shoplifter because I just kept going back and forth and just kind of looking around and just like really contemplating it. But I didn't realize that I was way past the point of no return. I had already been there. I'm like going to do it. So there's that plan making phase, where that's really what I need to like call someone. I mean, I really need to start calling someone or reaching out at like fantasy. The lower tiers, like entertaining, it's pretty bad too. And just the thoughts, I need to do something about it, but it's not so much reaching out like a crisis, but it's, doing something. And that's, what it's so easy to kind of just be like, oh, I had these thoughts and they'll just, whatever, they'll roll through my brain and they'll just pass. And you don't think to really do anything about them. But at least for me, they build up. They build up and they'll get stronger if they're not paid attention to or anything happens with them. And I was going through that a lot, just a whole lot of stuff. So when I was in treatment, I had these thoughts about it, but I immediately tried to do something about it. And I know it's much easier to do in treatment, just like everything is as far as abstaining to do in treatment in a facility. And so, I was really trepidatious when they're like, hey, you're getting out early. And I was on, no, I didn't have, like, it was about a 3-day notice too. And I just had to prepare for that. And, I thought about, well, I've had thoughts and stuff like that. This is going to be really scary. But, for the most part, the way I feel about it is that I have about the same amount of like strong thoughts or urges as I would on day 30. Would I've liked to do the full time? Of course, but I can't let that derail me in any ways. So I'm 12 days sober and I feel pretty good. My withdrawals now, here's the other thing is that here's the curveball. I haven't drank alcohol for officially today. This is kind of the weird thing is officially today, I haven't drank alcohol for 6 months. What I was withdrawing from is a thing called the DXM. It's cough syrup. It's the stuff that like, this is so embarrassing. I wouldn't even do this shit. I thought it was stupid when I was 17, yet I'm 35 and I decided to do this stuff because I just wanted to chill out. I didn't want to think about drinking. I just wanted something to just like, because I didn't go into it. I never actually even drank any of the cough syrup. They have like extended or immediate release pills, and I just did some of the extended release pills because I just wanted to chill out. I mean, I knew it was a relapse, and I wasn't going to be like, I'm sober, dude. No, I wasn't going to be anything like that, but it was just a sort of harm reduction sort of thing, which may work for some people, has never really worked for me. And, I just spun out of control. And I'm grateful because there could be an opportunity where not because this addiction to Dex or DXM, which I always say DMX, like I'm addicted to the rappers DMX musics or something. But DXM, I'm not like underplaying it as a drug or an addiction. I'm just saying I hadn't done it as long as I'd done alcohol throughout my entire life and how strong that was. So this may be a weirdly a roundabout way to get sober back, into sober and clean now. That's the thing. That's the phrase I'm going to use is sober and clean. Just, it seems like redundant, but to me it means a lot because again, it's been a good amount of time since I drank, but that to me means nothing because, I've used drugs. And so what you saw there was me, withdrawing off of DXM, which was, whoa, that was crazy because it wasn't as bad as, like the physical withdrawals weren't as bad as, alcohol, but these like sort of, I guess, almost psychedelic ones. It's kind of like the DTs where if the delirium tremens where you're withdrawing from alcohol so bad, you start seeing shadow people and hearing stuff. It was like way more of that. Like there was a part where I went back and forth because I kept this phrase in my head, like the world's like, crashing down on me. And sometimes that would be metaphorically, and sometimes I'd mean it literally, where it felt like things were shrinking. And it was just like, it was totally like a really strong, bad mushroom trip while also being sick and having some feverish symptoms. And it was not good. There was one moment where I was just almost hyperventilating. I was weeping so bad. I don't even really remember why. It was a sad sight to see, but I mean, a real sight too. If I had any video of that, I probably would have posted that, just how terrified I was. You could probably see how haunted I looked and just kind of ghostly, which is funny because during that I was scared. I mean, when I did the video, I wasn't tripping out or anything else. It wasn't like, whoa, man, this is going to go on the internet or in the sky or anything like that. But I will do a video about that, though, as well, the DXM and kind of my whole little journey through that. But anyways, it's just saying hi. I'm glad to be sober, glad to be back. And I hope all of you are doing well. I love the support that I got and all the comments and everything like that. I really appreciate that so much. Maybe more than you know. But I hope I normally say be well. I hope I be well. That doesn't make sense as a sentence. Anyways, I hope, I'm going to try to stay strong, and I hope anybody else out there struggling will be strong too. And if you're not, never any judgment. I just wish you the best luck that you can have in whatever state you're in. So other than that, I will try to be well.